Hey students, it's Mr. Fleece here, and today I'm going to show you how to do your color mixing guide. You might hear some drilling in the background. They're installing some air conditionings, and I apologize for that background noise. There it is. Anywho, there are two guides. So if you are taking art class in my room and you're not virtual, your color mixing guide looks like this. But if you are taking it completely virtual, your color guide is going to look like this. Mainly because the colors are different in the kits that I sent home for virtual learners. To make your color mixing guide, we're going to use each color in our palette to basically create new hues. We're going to mix yellow with red to create an orange hue. There's so many different types of yellow paint out there and so many different types of red paint and green paint and so on and so forth. So when you have a collection of paint, it's good practice to create a swatch because you can then determine how many different colors you can create with the paints you have. So this applies to any paints. You can create new colors with any paints that you might have. And if you have some at home, you could even add additional colors to your color mixing guide. The purpose of creating the guide is so that way you have a reference of the colors that you can create with the paints you have. So when you sit down to work on a painting, you have all of these options right there. And you can say, oh, I really want to use these colors in my painting. And now I know how to mix them because I've created my controls on each side. And I'm like, oh yes, I know that I need yellow and yellow ochre to make this hue of yellow that I want to use in my painting. And then I can use it as a reference. We'll use it for our fall trees color study. We will use it for any acrylic paintings that we work on in art. So let's get in it. So a few tools that we're going to need for our color mixing guide is we're going to need our 12 by 18 sheet of paper, which is just a large sheet of drawing paper that we're going to use to mix our colors on for our swatch. So I'm going to lay that out in front of me so I have an area to work. I'm going to just kind of start in this corner and work my way down and then work my way over. You can put your colors down on your swatch however works for you. We're also going to need a little jar of water, which is great for cleaning our brush. Take a couple paper towels or a paint rag. You're going to need paints for your colors. So if you're a virtual learner, your colors are going to look something like this. It'll just be a little set. And then if you are taking it in class, your colors are here and you'll build your palette in the art room. So I've got a nice little set. I'm going to pull those out. We're going to need an acrylic painting brush. Please do not use your watercolor brushes with acrylic paint. Those are the brown handled ones that are synthetic and have those really soft bristles. I want us to use more of an acrylic brush. This could be used for acrylic or oil. They're a little bit thicker bristled. And I have brushes. There should be acrylic brushes in your art kits. And if you're coming into the classroom, you can pick out some brushes and I can help you with your brush selection. I like to use the medium-sized square brush for this. It works really, really well. You'll need your palette, and then you'll need your color mixing guide so you know where to start. I'm going to start with yellow with my yellow hue. So I'm going to put yellow out, and then if you look, yellow plus yellow ochre, that's going to be my first mix. Okay. And then I'm going to do medium yellow plus brilliant red, medium yellow plus scarlet. My yellow is going to mix with every color that I have available to me. And then when I start my next color, I've already mixed yellow and brilliant red. So I can just start with brilliant red and scarlet starting down here. And that's how we're going to work our way through our color mixing guide. So I'll grab out my yellow. I like to just put a little bit out. I can always add more color to my palette, so I don't need to waste. Put a little bit out. If you have these, cap has a little poker there to release the paint. So you want to do that before you squeeze it like I just did. Otherwise you're going to have paint go flying everywhere. Whoopsie. Oh well, what are you going to do? Live and... Then my next color is yellow ochre. So I'm going to take and put a little blab of yellow ochre. Release the paint. See, if you do that first before you squirt the paint out, then you don't have a disaster. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of brilliant red, because that's my next color, and put down just like so. And so the first step when we're creating the color mixing guide is that I'm going to paint my control, which is just going to be a little box of the pure color. So I'm just starting with yellow. So this is my medium yellow, just a little box of medium yellow. And then I'm going to paint a larger square. So my medium yellow control, I'm going to paint just a larger square. And this is going to be where I mix my colors. Put my yellow down first. And we have to work quickly because we don't want my yellow paint to dry before I mix my colors. So I'm going to scrub it on the bottom really well. Paper towels. towel that brush off as best as I can because I want it to be pretty dry. So you want to pull as much water out of the brush as you can. Paint my yellow ochre control. So controls get painted first, and then I'm going to grab a little bit and I'm going to paint over the top of my yellow. And this is a technique called overbrushing. And basically what I'm going to do is continually brush or overbrush my paint, and as I continue to paint, my colors are slowly going to mix. I kind of do a crisscross pattern, so I go up and then I go across, and I might go down and across the other way. And then there you have it. I'm going to go to my water and clean my brush. Then I'm going to dry it off. I want to dry that off really well. I kind of like pinch it, so I pinch it in there, and then I can pull that water right out of the brush the best as possible. Then I'm ready to go on to my next color. So I'm going to take and dip into my yellow, paint my yellow control. Then I'm going to paint my mixing area, just like so. Clean my brush quickly. I don't want to waste time because I don't want my paint to dry. Make sure to towel it off. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of red and paint my control. I grab a little red on my brush and I'm going to mix my colors. So I paint my red on top of my yellow, and then I'm going to overbrush, which is basically brushing over the same area multiple times. And when I do that, my paint is going to mix. And this works with oils, this works with acrylics. If you overbrush, your colors are going to continually mix. Unless, of course, they're dry. If they're dry underneath, they're not going to mix at all. And now I have kind of this lovely scarlet hue, orangish hue, that I've made with my yellow and my brilliant red. And as I work, I'm gonna label my colors. So if you go to your guide and take a look at your guide here, your label is in parentheses. So you can see for yellow, it's just a Y. For yellow ochre, it's YO. And then that's how I've labeled my colors. So I'm just gonna go and just mark this as yellow, and I'm gonna mark this as yellow ochre, and then I'm going to mark my yellow again, and then my brilliant red, BR, just like that. I want you to continue painting your mixing guide until you've used all of the colors combinations that are on the list. All right, everybody, and that's how you create your color mixing guide. I want you to upload a finalized picture of your completed guide to Canvas so I can have a look at those. And remember, we're going to use those as a reference for the paintings that we create next. All right, everybody, take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.